Alright, we're going to be reviewing Breadloaf, who is playing DPS, I think Cassidy on King's Row. And this is Platinum 1, I don't know if this is PC or console. Hello, at the time of this game, I was Plat 1 DPS. This game felt awful to play, and I felt like I did absolutely nothing to help our team. I spent most of my match shooting the Reinhardt and Bastion, couldn't get any important picks. I ended up switching to Widow at the end of the first round, but still felt ineffective. In the second round, we could not gain any space whatsoever at the choke, so I tried to hit picks on their supports, but I couldn't get any angles on them. I was getting tilted at this point, losing hope of winning, so I wasn't very motivated to switch to a flanker. Our tank refused to switch from Orisa and kept getting melted by Bastion. I'm not sure what I should do in that scenario. Should I have switched heroes? If so, which heroes would have helped my team the most here? After seeing the replay to myself, maybe I should have gone Reaper, but I'm not confident in that assessment. All in all, my aim felt pretty poor this match as well, and I could have finished some limbs if I was just that much more consistent. But I felt like that wasn't the primary issue. I also ended up having to be saved with the Kiriko Suzu for playing out of cover more than I would hope. Okay, so let's kind of talk about this a little bit. First of all, with all the heroes that you ever play, it's going to be map dependent. Okay, there's so many factors in Overwatch that make every single game its own unique puzzle, and you just need to understand that. This is not a game, this is not a map that is particularly good for Cassidy. The reason being is that King's Row is about as linear as a map as it gets. It's technically curvy, but it's like linear in the sense that you just run in a straight line from point A to point B. It's almost impossible to flank, and there's almost no verticality. So you just run forward, okay, and then you go down this hallway, and then the next hallway, and then the next hallway, and then this is like the worst part, where it's just all a really long line. Now, there's some vertical elements, but you don't see, like on other maps, for example, like second point of Junkertown, right, where you can see a whole team set up here. You never see that here, right? It's almost always very, very brawly, lots of ground fighting. Occasionally you'll have people playing up here, or maybe like a fair in the air. But typically speaking, it's all about stopping the main push, okay? The main, like on defense, the main brawly push, the Rein, Zarya, Orisa, or whatever, that's just sending it down main. It's often your job is to help figure out how do I stop that, right? So Bastion, for example, is a reasonable pick. I don't think he's a great pick here, but a reasonable pick. Very good on last point, but first 2 points, I think he's only okay. Junkrat, super, super good at spamming and stopping them, right? Mei, extremely good on this map. Fair is reasonable on this map. I think Ashe, potentially, right? Dynamite plus headshot picks, etc. I think Tracer's really bad at this map for basically all points. I think this is probably, like, Tracer's viable in virtually every, like, one of the most viable heroes in the game, and I think this is one of the worst possible maps for Tracer. I think Genji is also possible here with a combination of Blade. Torb, really, really good here. There's a lot of excellent heroes to play here. Cassidy is, hey, let me find people in the open and let me three-shot them. Right? That's like what Cassidy's really good at. Or let me get up close to somebody so I can sticky and body shot them. But you just don't get those opportunities, right? It's all about this tug of war between the two Reins back and forth. And you should think, how am I helping us win that? Okay? Instead of just focusing on maybe your own style, I haven't seen the replay yet, but instead of focusing on your own style, think, like, what do I need to do to win this game and do that? So for starters, you should be peeking top, right? Confirm what the lineup is and see whether or not they have a Widow, because that's going to affect your positioning a lot. Number one. Number two, I'm going to assume this is console based on your movement. Number two is don't use roll, because now you don't have roll. Like, what if a Widow suddenly grapples up here and is going to shoot you? Then you die because you don't have roll, right? Like little, and they do in fact have a Widow. Little sloppy things like that matter. I can't remember what the buffed fall-off distance for Cassidy is, but my instinct here is that you are too far away to do full damage, and you should be playing close to this corner, right? Like, why are you playing so far back away? Like, what is your goal here? You know? You should play to impact the game. Fall-off damage is really significant. It's one of the most important mechanics in the game to understand. You're playing so far away. Like, what's the point? It's not like the Rein is shatter right now. The game just started. Play up close and put damage into this shield. Right? Again, playing way too far back. Alright, so now Widow goes down, or Widow kills your Moira. Unfortunate, but, you know, again, like, their DPS are getting picks, you know? You haven't reloaded despite the fact that you have 3 ammo. Right? You have 3 ammo and you're behind cover. This is a great time to reload. Right? You don't even take the shot Junkrat. You should have reloaded. Right? Now you only have 1 shot. Again, now the Rein's vulnerable, and now you don't have ammo, right? Because you just didn't reload. It's just really sloppy. Again, right click for the record would have broken the shield immediately, which gives your team the opportunity to do something. Right? Like, if you're Bastion shooting a shield, just right click the shield, do 300 damage instantly, and then you get killed. Very important for you to get killed right now. Shouldn't have eaten that fire strike. Also, you're clumping in with the rest of your team unnecessarily, right? You should be playing the right angle, not the left angle. And now both of you eat this Fire Strike and you eat the Junkrat spam. Very lucky you're not dead right now. The only reason you're not dead is that you're not a 200 health hero. So, by the way, if you need to kill shields faster, just right-click repeatedly. Right-click, reload, over and over again. As long as it's not fall-off is not a problem. So you should be putting pressure on the Widow right now. That's your job. Otherwise, the Widow is going to have a field day killing the rest of your team. Okay, even though you can't kill her right now, just headshot her, right? She's an easy headshot right now. You're not even trying to shoot the Widow. Shoot the Widow, please, shoot the Widow. Oh, man. Yeah, rough. Yeah. So, my first read, like from the initial fight, is that you're just not aggressive enough. You're not trying to do things. You know, you're just like sitting back spamming, and you're one of the worst spamming heroes in the game. You know? Like, you're not playing Cassidy well. Right? You really want to be playing a lot closer, right? Get the opportunity to not have follow-up damage, get good kills, make headshots easier, get an opportunity to sticky people, and then use roll to get yourself out of the way. Instead, you play super, super far away, and then you use roll just to reload a little quicker. This is like the worst possible usage of Cassidy that you could do. You're also slow to reload. Like, this is like little things. Watch. So, 3, 2, 1. You should already be reloading right now, because you've chosen mentally, I can tell, to not shoot any more bullets. You see how long you waited right there? And it seems like a little thing, but if you want to climb, like it's very obvious when I slow it down, like how long you wait, right? You wait like almost a full second to reload. If you want to climb, you have to get better at everything. Okay? Like if you were like, oh man, I'm supposed to be Diamond, like Diamond Cassidys don't just stand there for a second before reloading. It just doesn't happen. Because they get used to optimizing their time. Again, a lot of winning is happening right here, and you're not doing anything. All you're doing is shooting the shield. Okay? So, again, if you're playing a lot closer, you have an option, okay? You're also a great duelist. You could be playing left side of statue here, right? And think about how much value you'd be adding. Don't play the same angle as your Bastion. Okay? You could be playing left side here, you could be playing right side hotel control, and force them, like if you're standing here, constantly shooting the supports as they come in, it's very, very hard for them to deal with, right? The Rhine gets distracted running in here, then you can just kite the Rhine, then the backline gets killed when that happens. You have a lot of options here that are simply not just stand in the back and act like a spammer. Again, reload, you got 3 ammo. Like, it already feels like you don't want to win the game, and the game just started. And your team is playing very well without you. Right? Like, you've done almost nothing this game. Like, I don't think you've gotten any kills other than cleanup. Again, playing super far back, right? So, your Rhine's, like, they nano, okay? Your Rhine's in trouble here. You know how you could stop this? Just pop High Noon. You know, your Rhine's clearly just going to shield, right? Pop High Noon, it'll make the enemy Rhine, like, think twice about advancing. Or he might be like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to commit anyway. But the rest of his team will be like, no way, and they're going to duck. You know? Or you can at least trade for your Rhine. Like, just not do... Yeah, you just don't do anything. It's strange that you've gotten to plat here. I mean, maybe King's Row is just a really bad map for you, but you're not actually trying to do anything to impact the game. Like, I would say that you probably have less than 1,000 hero damage so far, and it's been 3 minutes of gameplay, like 2 minutes 45 seconds, give or take. Oh, okay. So this is just really sloppy. So you should be tracking here that attack, right? The grenade coming. It's kind of tough because your gun blocks it. But then now you should definitely be dodging this fire strike instead of, I think you jump, which makes it impossible for you to. Yeah, you need to stop jumping because when you, I guess that popped you. But yeah, just eating the spam is no good. Also, where did your roll go? Like, I don't think you need to roll there. You could just walk diagonally backwards, right? Just keep roll available to save you. This is a very, very bad death. That almost guarantees that your team loses. Now your team is staggered because people can die fast enough. Definitely have an opportunity here to kill the Bastion. I'm trying to read this again. 1, 2. Again, neither one of these are headshots. Miss. That looked like it should have been a hit, but it looks like it was a miss. and a body shot. Definitely an opportunity. The Bastion's overextended for sure. No! Once again, I mean, I throw Magnetic here and walk to the left probably, but you also don't have roll available, which is a common trend. Your team manages to push them back somehow without you, which is great. I know you're duoed with your support. I wonder if your support is higher MR than you are. Because it feels like you're having trouble with this game. It feels like everyone in this game is better than you. So I would be curious what your support's rank is. You can't miss tanks. As Cassidy, you cannot miss tanks. 1, 2, that's a hit, and then another miss. So you missed 4 out of 6 on a tank. That's not acceptable. You cannot miss tanks. Full stop. Can't miss tanks as Cassidy. Not if you want to climb. It's just not a thing that you can ever do. Oh, okay. So you have an opportunity here to get a kill. You're too greedy here, right? Just as soon as you get like one, like either killing the Ana before you got the cover or killing the Cassidy or the Junkrat right there would have been fine. So your ultimates have no impact and you can't get picks. So pretty problematic so far. You come out Widow and then you play low ground, which is a really bad idea. You really need to get the high ground right now. The Junkrat, by the way, is spamming your team and your team is pinging it. Like, you should just get high ground and kill the Junkrat. Like, it's not your job to kill the Rhine. Why are you trying to kill the Rhine? What the heck is happening? This is like silver level gameplay. What are you doing? Just go high ground. Just go high ground right now and kill the Junkrat. Or just, you don't even need to go high ground. At this point, the Junkrat's actually available. He's just standing out in the open. This is really bad. Yeah, I have no idea why you're blaming your Rhine here. Your Rhine, I feel like, played perfectly reasonably. Great, see? You killed the junk. That's value. That is the first thing you've done in this game that has helped your team win. Everything else you've done has been totally useless. Don't underestimate Widowmine, by the way. It does, that only does like 100 damage now. It's like not, it's pretty significant if you throw it and they're not paying attention to pops. Okay, good. Again, go high ground. Right? Reload, go. Well, Bastion's in tank form and supports on him, there's like no way you can get a kill there. I mean, I would not expect the junk to go through that window. He knows that you just popped ulti, right? Just go high ground. You're very averse to going high ground. I've never seen a Widow not use grapple this much. Just go high. Oh, man. Okay, so you hear Bastion ulti here. You continue to hold scope. You could have gotten out of this by grappling or just walking away, and you just get killed. I'm going to stop watching because I don't think this is going to be valuable for me to keep going. I think it's going to be pretty much the same things. So I think, number one, your attitude here seems like a huge problem. You know, it kind of comes out in your post, but it also comes out in the game. Like, you're just not really trying to win. You're playing so far away from the fight and just spamming shields. You're not attempting to kind of like play on the flanks at all or like try to get kills, land stickies. You could pop Tainun to save your Rhine. Like, there's a lot of things that you could do here. You're just not doing any of them. Like, it feels like you think, okay, I'm just going to stand here and just shoot. That's my job as DPS. Instead of like, will this actually lead to a kill? And if you were like bronze or like low silver, I would understand. And I'd be like, okay, let me like kind of walk you through how kills happen. But you've gotten all the way to plat 1. So you definitely know how to get kills. Like, you should understand when is somebody overextended and how to confirm that kill, right? And how to like create opportunities. And it's pretty unfortunate that like watching this, and again, like maybe you're a lot better on other replays. Maybe Kings Row is just not your map, but I'm not going to explain like all the basics of Overwatch to you because you're just not doing anything. Like, you're literally having like virtually no impact on the game. And even when you come out as Widow, right, not going high ground as soon as you possibly could, not killing the Junkrat who's shooting at your team, not unscoping when you heard Bastion ulti, like, these are all really basic things that I don't really know how to help you solve, you know? Like, I think you just need to like kind of take a gut check and just go back to the drawing board, like look at this video and be like, okay, like how much value am I really adding to the team? And it's funny that you're complaining like, oh, like, what am I supposed to do about Ride? But like the other team's DPS were getting picks all the time, you know? Like whether or not it be the Bastion or the Widow or whomever, like they were clearly getting picks and they're playing against like the same lineup that you are, right? You have a Ride and you have a Bastion as well. So why are they able to get picks and you're not? Because you're just not trying to even get the picks, you know? Like you don't really understand your hero's strengths and like how to play around the map that you have. Again, Cassidy's a very strong off angler, really, really hard to duel him. His role makes him very dangerous at close range, right? You can get out of things, you can burst, you can do 600 damage instantly, which allows you to burst down tanks. So you got a lot of options. Like Cassidy's still playable on this map. I just don't think that you play Cassidy well. All right, hopefully this is helpful.